Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room Podcast. This is episode 130. This is going to be an NBA episode and then a splash of the NFL at the end of the episode as we predict the NFL Divisional round. Before I get into it, how you guys doing? Max, I know you just started school again. I'm not back in school for a few weeks.
Good.
Well,
Class has been good. Slow week this first week. I have like a weird schedule, so I don't have classes on Mondays and Wednesdays. But good day to get work done. I have a couple online classes that I gotta get done. But class has been starting up pretty good. MSU basketball. MSU basketball. Big game versus Illinois on Sunday. Big game versus Illinois on Sunday.
Yeah,
I'll see Jacosi on it. Big game. What are you talking about? This is top.
Not Jeremiah Fears. Jeremy Fears been one of the best guards in the nation this year. Especially
great.
His assist percentage is like 44. It's insane. He gets the ball.
He's been good.
Y'all players a lot. I'm not really moved, but I mean, we'll see.
You said hey, your words were we were better than you thought we'd be, which is fine. I'll take what I can
get.
But
I still y'all, I mean, y'all can probably go to like Sweet 16 type shit.
I think again, it all depends on the draw this year. I think that this team, we're the biggest thing that we
y'all are a balanced team.
But we don't have that number one guy. That's the biggest issue. Is we don't have a guy who can go get us 20 points a game.
Y'all don't have like great talent.
Huh?
Y'all don't have great talent. Y'all don't have great talent, but y'all got experience from the coaching position.
Like we have guys. I think our team we have a great team this year, right? Just like overall, like a balanced team. But like we get a lot of guys who do one or two things. We just like don't have a downhill score like a lot of these top teams have, which is unfortunate. So I'm hoping that someone kind of steps in and takes that role going forward. But again, this team can defend. This team can shoot. We just need that one guy who down the stretch can hit the clutch buckets. But I got a question afterwards. Q, get into it. How you been?
I'm finally back in like my little work mode. I'm just trying to get stuff done.
Cool. My question of the day relates to college, though. It is, as it stands right now, a lot of stuff going on. Janai Broom obviously getting injured big. Who is your national championship pick currently as it stands with the current state of college basketball? I'll get mine out because the Iowa State Cyclones look crazy. I think they are looking insane right now. Obviously, they just killed Kansas. They're obviously in Ames, but Iowa State looks really, really good. I think if they match up with Auburn again, they lost earlier on, but again, it was an OT game. I think Iowa State is a force to be reckoned with right now. And I don't know. I think that they might be the best team in college basketball right now. But again, that Big 12's got a lot of good teams. So
I still slightly lean Auburn.
I get it.
Lean Auburn.
The Janai Broom injury. I want to see how the Janai Broom, like how the injury actually plays out, right? Who kind of steps into that role? But we'll see.
I'm about to read up on this right now.
I'm surprised you didn't say Duke. I know they have a lot of freshman talent, which never really wins, but still.
Yeah. The thing with Duke is like it's flag a bust for real. Like he's like everything, and like he's still not like super polished as that like go to So like when he go through slumps, they like it affects how the flow of that shit go.
I mean, Con played well last game.
I'm also still rocking with Auburn. I just read it and it said Janai Broom injury is non-surgical ankle sprain. So it's not even like a bone break. He should be fine in like at least
in 2 weeks he'll be straight. In about a month he'll be back. So it's like
I'm trying to see if they drop a game or two here and kind of mess with the positioning of it. So
he's been the best player in the country this year. Duke, they had a talent, but they have too much young talent, and also they rely too much on Cooper Flag as well. And freshmen don't typically do the best in the tournament. So if he doesn't do the best,
the tournament made for the upperclassmen.
The Big Ten scares me again this year. I feel like we're all going to kill each other.
Their offense is also very simple. Very, very simple. Like the offense is very simple. The defense is like really, really great though. Like they're damn near the best defense in the nation. They got the biggest team in the nation. But no, I don't know. And I also I'm not that high on John Shire as a coach either. I'll take Bruce Pearl every day of the week.
Bruce Pearl.
But let's talk about the championship. Let's talk about some contenders. Big game tonight.
That's a good segue.
Stop. Don't let it be a game tonight. Stop. Latif, all Latif's been saying today is this is not even a game. The Cavs had this game locked up already, which, to be honest,
I'll be very surprised.
Don't lie now and say big game tonight, because at that point in time, you don't think it is. You're just lying.
It's still a big game. This is the number one team in each conference. The Thunder are missing Isaiah Hartenstein, which is detrimental because they don't have Chet.
Already missing Chet. Yeah,
like, you gotta be serious. Like,
you can't be like, this game's over. Then
I mean, the center rotation is Kenrich Williams, who is, I think, a really good player.
Trust me, I'm not gonna sit here and say that's a fair fight. It's not. But you can't go, it's a huge game, huge circumstances. No, give us our real team.
It's a big game. I think the Cavs will win. We beat y'all last time, but
with no Chet.
The topic at discussion right now are the Cavs or Thunder the biggest, or between the Cavs and Thunder, which team is the bigger threat to the Celtics this season? That's the question. They faced off once already. They're gonna play again tonight. They also both played the Celtics and both beat the Celtics.
Yeah, both have a win. Q, you go first.
I think you could. It's no clear-cut answer because it's two paths how you want to go down with it. If you want to say it's the OKC, they're obviously in the other conference. You look like a step ahead of everybody else. So, like, you should confidently feel like they're going to at least make the Western Conference Finals. Pretty much, that's the final favorite. Say they get there. They kind of have the easiest path to take down the Celtics. With the Cavs, it's like, do you believe they could beat the Celtics? Because then if that's a threat, if that's what it really matters, then it's like if they beat the Celtics, then remember the Celtics are done with. It's over with. They don't even have to win the finals. They just took down the Celtics. But OKC is like you have to see them. Like if you make it to the final, most likely you're gonna have to see them. And that's like you're not gonna know the answer to that till you get there. With the Cavs, based on regular season, how you match up, things like that. You get into the playoffs, you get them in round 2. You'll know easily, and then your path to the finals, winning the finals look a lot better, especially based on how these two teams matched up. I know it was no iHeart today, but you've seen what it looked like last time. Kind of Chet wasn't there either, but I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference. It's probably going to still be kind of a slugfest kind of thing. Then it's really a question between the Cavs and the Thunder, who's better than who. Because the Celtics, they're kind of in a slump right now, so I wouldn't even put them as the number one, like the favorite.
You pick what team did you pick?
I'd say it's the Cavs because they have a chance to knock them off early.
Okay.
I think at the same time, though, you can switch it up and say after that long playoff run, you still got to go beat OKC, right? So whether you meet the Cavs, it's probably going to be in the conference.
The answer isn't who's going to win a championship. It's who's the bigger threat to the Celtics.
That's what I'm saying, though. Where Q's saying you could beat them early. It could also be a fact where someone gets injured in those games. You got more time where they're out. For me personally, obviously I'm going to say the Thunder, right? I obviously say the Thunder in this matchup. I think both these teams are very, very good this season. Both are great on the offensive side. Obviously, the Cavs are on historic pace offensively, and the Thunder are on historic pace defensively. Boston ranks in the top 10 in both in defensive and offensive rating, as do the Cavs and the Thunder. The Thunder have the highest net rating, though. And they're doing a lot of this without Chet, which is big, and people got to kind of put that in the context. Chet has not been playing for a long time, and we've still been beating teams. I get it. We lost the Cavs. Don't worry. We're doing a lot of this without Chet, and our big rotation looks pretty slim. Great defense on multiple sides, on multiple aspects. With Kaysen, we obviously have J-Dub. We have Shea. I think the AJ Mitchell pick just looks better and better. He's putting in good minutes for us. I really, really think that when it comes down to wing defenders, we can match up with Boston. We'd have the depth. They obviously have the top end talent. I think we have the depth. The one interesting thing that I heard about this year with Cleveland, I don't remember who it was, but they're saying that it almost looks like Donovan Mitchell is taking the Jason Tatum type role last year, right? Where he's kind of playing more team basketball. He's not scoring. And again, I think he went for 35 last night. He's not always scoring the basketball at will. He's not really, he's just, you know what I mean? He's winning team. I don't remember who said it. I think it was on the
Tim Bonton said that, or Brian Will. Somebody said that.
I thought it was on the broadcast. Maybe it was the Pacers game that I watched, but they were talking about the kind of difference that Donovan Mitchell's changed to his game. And I think a lot of that, again, I think Shea's a better basketball player than Donovan Mitchell, right? Shea can go out there and having that number one option can go get 30, 35 points is clutch. Donovan Mitchell, though, is a great playoff performer, and we've seen how good he can be in big moments. And I really think that come this playoff time, people will remember that. I think that right now there's a hole in Cleveland as far as their secondary scoring. Latif, you can disagree with me. I need to see Evan Mobley prove that come playoff time because this is a big, big deal. I'm sorry.
Evan Mobley's not a secondary scorer. That would be Darius Garland, sir.
He's got to prove it even more. I was trying to give you Evan Mobley, but I don't see it quite there yet. So
Evan Mobley's their best player this year. Yes.
Well, that's gonna go. No, I don't really have any I don't feel one type of way about it because I think you're even discrediting Donovan Mitchell. I think he will obviously have his time and he will come back and be that number one guy in playoff time. My thing is just,
I will hope so. What you mean by discrediting Donovan Mitchell?
I mean, I think Donovan Mitchell, come the biggest moments, will be your most important player.
Yes, this season he has not been the best player. It's been Evan Mobley. I'm almost.
I'm saying most important.
What I mean, why would I don't know? In the playoffs,
I guess that's most important in the playoffs. Sure,
that's
what I'm saying.
Sure.
I think the moments that matter.
Evan Mobley. He's been a top 2 defender in the world. I personally think he's the best defender in the world.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it necessarily comes in part because Donovan Mitchell's having a bad year. I don't think he's honestly.
No, he's been fine. He's not
playing smart basketball, I guess.
On some nights, he's the third best player. He's the third best player on the floor. I mean, Darius Garland has.
But that's what I'm trying to say. You're winning games. I think he wants to win games and win that championship versus going for the individual stats because we know he can go off for 28, 29, 30 points and 99.
That might be more of like a Kenny Atkinson thing.
Sure, 100%. All I'm saying is that we all know that Donovan Mitchell holds that potential. He's done that before. He does in the playoff, right? Like we know that, and he's just not doing it. But they're winning basketball games, so that's all that really matters. I got off topic. Sorry. I'm going with the Thunder though. I think that again, our shooting. It can get better, and I think that we're in a better position right now to trade. We have more assets to go make a move than Cleveland does, and I think currently our defensive situation is better than Cleveland's. You guys got Evan Mobley. Past that, though, when Chet gets back, I think clear you guys on the defensive side, especially to match up with Boston.
I mean, I'm gonna be objective here. These are both teams. I'm a fan of the Cavs. Obviously, I love players on the Thunder with Shea, Chet, Kaysen. My Kentucky boys and plus Chet. I mean, it's the Thunder. The Thunder are the better matchup. They have an all-time great defense team. They have an all-time great defensive team. Like not even a great defensive team for this year, but an all-time great defensive team this year. And they will have the best player in the series with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So I think they offer the best opportunity to stop the Celtics out of any team in the entire NBA. Their offense can be a concern at times, but they have stayed afloat and still been a top 7 offense in a half court without Chet. And so doing all this without Chet is very, very impressive. And I think when you get a player that was going to be in all NBA considerations before he went down, when you get him back, that makes you even better. So I think the Thunder are clearly the biggest threat in the league because they're doing all of this without Chet Holmgren. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed time this year, and we're not doing mid-season awards for another few days. But when we do, I'll use that for a Shea's MVP case. But no, I think it's the Celtics, especially with how the Celtics look this year. I think defense is going to matter a lot.
What's that face? I'm not gonna lie. What is?
I mean, also like the Cavs are a great defense too, and they obviously have been one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah,
but come playoff time, I think that they'll be able to hunt Darius Garland. I think they'll be able to hunt Donovan Mitchell, even though those two guys are solid defenders. With the way the Boston Celtics operate on the perimeter and shoot as many threes, and I think they'll be able to put them in action and hunt them. I do think the Cavs got a chance against the Celtics for sure.
They got a game. They got a game for sure.
Oh, stop playing. See, that's where you get disrespectful. The Cavs can beat the Celtics, bro. They can beat the Celtics. It would take Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, having a great series. I agree.
Very, very, very good. It would take Donovan Mitchell being the best player in that series. Evan Mobley will have to show up. Darius Garland will have to show up. A lot of things will have to go right. But
I
I
agree.
think they definitely could do it for sure.
To be honest, I think it also falls a lot on Max Strus and Ty Jerome.
Oh no, we're a deeper team.
I'm
We're probably one of the deepest teams in the league.
yeah, not as deep as the Thunder. Thanks though. I think both those guys are super. Huh?
That's debatable,
I
right?
think we're the.
No, it's not.
I think we're the team with most depth, but yeah, I think we're better.
We're not the deepest team in the league.
I think
that's the Grizzlies.
mm,
The Grizzlies have
I don't
like
know.
15 rotational players, bro.
That's just useless though. 15 is too many.
I'm
And
gonna say Jake LaRavia is not a rotation player.
Oh,
I think it's gonna be big though for Ty Jerome, I think, and a guy like Max Strus, like to have a 20-point night. You know what I mean? Like in one of those series, like one game where they just go nuclear and they can't miss. You know what I mean? Like just literally take over for a game. I think with how your offense runs, especially when you beat us, I think we're a good perimeter team. You guys kept finding the corners, and Max Strus was hitting that night, so he couldn't really miss, and obviously that helped out a lot. So I think he had 4 or 5 threes.
I think the Thunder are a better matchup for the Celtics, but I think we're a bad matchup for y'all. I mean, Chet alleviates that a little bit, but our size interior is just crazy. Like,
I want to see healthy teams match up though. Is my only thing.
I agree. I think Chet's gonna help that like immensely, but unless y'all run like the Chet and Zay lineup, which you really haven't seen at all this year, it will take some time to integrate that lineup. I think we just had we have the size on the interior to do a lot of damage, especially.
To be honest, I don't think that matchup happens.
Huh?
I don't think that matchup happens. I'll be honest.
I mean, it definitely can happen. I think those teams would definitely make the finals, and that would be the best thing for the NBA. I personally feel like
actually create a rivalry again. You get a rivalry going again.
It won't be a rivalry. It would just be like parity. Like,
but my thing is more you could build up narratives about those two teams.
I think
it's hard to build that unless y'all gonna keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
Celtics Lakers was a thing because they just always kept going.
Understand, but I think it's
easy to do within your conference.
You got the Chet. You got the Chet and Wemby debate, but I think you can try and say like Chet and Mobley.
In the West, you could have you got Mavs Suns. You already got Mavs Suns. You can have Mavs OKC. You can have Grizzlies OKC. You can have Grizzlies Mavs. You can have Mavs Nuggets OKC Nuggets. Grizzlies Nuggets. Like those already have like little things in them. Lakers really only got one with the Grizzlies, but it's just young folk versus old nigga beef.
And Denver, LA and Denver.
Yeah, that's not really right,
bro. I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about the Celtics. They've been in a funk over the last month. I think since December 19th, the Celtics are 8-8. In their last 10, they're 6-4, and that's not the worst or anything like that. But compared to the all-time historic team they were last season, especially in the regular season and in the playoffs, they have taken a step back. Are we worried about it? Well, I mean, we're not Celtics fans, but should Celtics fans be concerned about their team this year? I'm gonna start with Max.
Simply, I'm gonna say no. I think teams are gonna start to figure out obviously what Boston is. As a team, you're gonna start to figure out obviously schemes after watching them for a year now, year and a half. Figure out what Joe Mazzulla does, what he likes, obviously what he likes to do, doesn't do. I just think as a whole, we got to say Porzingis has played 17 games. Like, we want to see Kristaps in for as much as possible. He's obviously missed time. Jaylen Brown's missed time. Like, you have a couple like guys who just haven't really been in the lineup all the time. And I think what we saw last year was Boston was a good team without Porzingis. When Porzingis then was healthy come playoff time and needed to play, and they needed to put in their A team, their actual roster, their actual rotation, they got business. So I really think it's more like they need to sneak into the playoffs however they can, right? I don't think they get the 1 seed. I think Cleveland kind of keeps on this high, like they're kind of high note and stays at the 1.
Max. Just say they're coasting.
Yeah, like I think it's. I think
it's a good coasting.
I think it's simply if they get 2, 3, 4, it really doesn't matter. I'm taking Boston in a matchup versus anybody. If they want to be easy, try and go to the 4 seed and you beat the 5 seed and then you beat Cleveland and you give yourself an easy ECF. Again, you can't take any team for granted, but I think they are in a perfect spot right now where they can't get deemed for tanking because they have too many star players to where they can kind of be competitive on a night in, night out basis. But yeah, I really think this team just tries to get to the playoffs, let Kristaps get healthy, and you roll out with your 8 guys from then on. So I'm not worried.
They coasting, bro. This ain't nothing new. We seen teams that think they got championship ceilings and things like that.
They said about Denver last year. That's what they said.
No, that's, I already explained how I felt about like things like
There's only that one guy though.
Truly, like teams like Boston, they can say that because they're in and out in the second to last round of the playoffs every year. So they literally could coast and get to the ECF. Like whether they make the finals or not, that's up in the air, but their floor is the ECF. So they just trying to sleepwalk till they get there. The Warriors sleepwalk through the regular season till they get to a team with Steph Curry, KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond should win 75 games every year. They didn't sniff that because we could chill. Once we get to the playoffs, we're gonna kill everybody, and that's the Celtics. We know they walking into that knowing they get into the ECF within in 10 games. They got to play 10 games and they in the ECF. That's it. Like this ain't nothing really to talk about.
Listen, man. I understand that. I understand the the championship slump, all that type of stuff. But some of their players have regressed. Like they've gotten a little bit worse. I think Derek White has been great this year. I think Drew Holiday has been a little bit worse this season. But did you see that picture of them with top 5 in Toronto? They were out all night before the Toronto game, and then they lost to Toronto.
Boston?
Yeah. It was they was partying the night.
Didn't you say Jalen Brown not a top 50 player?
50?
You said that like 2 days ago.
No, I didn't. Bro.
Yes, you did. You said he's not a top 50 player.
Not 50. It was probably like 25 or something like that. You're not top 25, no, probably not.
Who 5 players that did better than him this year that weren't in the top 5?
You said
who the 5 players? Because he was pretty firm top 20. Well, who's been better than him?
Like this year, Evan Mobley been better than him. Cade been better than him.
I'm not trying to push back. I just want to know. I want to know who you would.
Do you not think some of that's due to?
We had Wemby outside the top 20 when we did the list.
Yeah. Some of that not due to opportunity though.
I mean, when he was playing, Paolo.
Yo.
Is
some of that not due to opportunity?
Huh?
Like if Jalen Brown had the opportunity on his own team, would he not provide better stats, whatever?
They wouldn't be winning anything. But yeah,
I think a Jalen Brown led team probably get you as far as what a
I guess I'm not talking
get you right now.
As far as who?
A first round playoff.
I'm saying more though, like his individual statistics, I think obviously look a lot better because he's on a solo team. So I get the performance or play wise, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think some of that's obviously due to rolling opportunity.
It has been a sort of a championship hangover for the Celtics. I don't know how concerning we should be. They are 8-8 in their last 16, but the losses are bad. Like they've lost to the Kings, the Raptors, the Bulls, the Pacers. These are teams they should.
Man, the Kings went on 7 straight wins. Kings went on 7 straight wins.
Lost to the Pelicans and only had beat them by 1.
Yeah. I mean, the Kings they're not a good team.
The Raptors loss is bad. The Raptors loss is bad for sure.
Their offensive rating from last year has dropped from 119. The defense rating has dropped from 111 to 110.8 this season. And Jalen Brown, his shooting efficiency has got a lot worse this year. This is his like 3rd worst shooting season of his career. His shooting from everywhere has basically dropped outside of the rim. On the short mid ranges, outside of the restricted area, he went from 51.9 to 42.9. In the mid range, he went from 43.5 to 31.3. And from 3, he went from 35.4 to 32.2. And Jalen Brown was already basically like an average shooter last year. So him getting even worse is a bit concerning, especially come playoff time, because I do think teams like the Cavs and teams like the Thunder can make life tough for Jaylen Brown, and you need him to play well in order for you to beat them teams. So it is a championship hangover, and they are taking teams lightly, but they need to get out of that funk quickly because there weren't teams last year like the Thunder and the Cavs that are ready to challenge them like they are this year. And if they don't turn it around, they'll be underperforming this year, not going back to the finals, in my opinion. Because I understand it, the coaching the regular season type of thing, not taking games seriously, but this is supposed to be the year Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown lighted by the Olympics, and then they wreak havoc on the league. Remember that? That was supposed to be the theme. And they came in. Now they come into the season and they get beat by the fucking Raptors. So it's like I don't know.
Jason Tatum individually himself is having a great year. Like he's having a great year. He's not having
an MVP level season though. He's not. He's
never gonna have an MVP level season. That's just gonna be damn near impossible.
You know, people do like the best player and the best team arguments, and they be like, why can't Jason Tatum?
That's never gonna happen anymore. Damn near.
No, I understand that. But people always be like, oh, like, I'm not saying people that like know what they're talking about. They'd be like, oh, Jason Tatum is the best player. It's mostly Celtics fans. And then like people that don't know what they're talking about, like, oh, Jason Tatum is the best player and the best team. Why is he in MVP conversations? But Jason Tatum, unlike other MVP level players, has too many off nights. Like,
and they still win.
Huh?
And they still win basketball games though.
Oh, the Celtics, yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like they still win basketball games.
Him, though. Like that don't make him look good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. You don't play well. Like not many other MVP candidates can play bad and still win the basketball game. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like players like Jokic, SGA, and B when he's healthy, Giannis, they're just more consistent. I feel like his
go ahead,
a little bit higher, if that makes sense.
You got to think about like the MVPs though. Like Jason Tatum's not a top 5 player. Mostly the MVP is going to a top 5 player outside of D Rose and Steve Nash.
They be trying to stick him into that conversation though. Russ too. Russ wasn't top 5 in 2017 either.
Oh yeah, facts. But that's a storyline thing. You feel me? Since then, it's been storyline. It's been like whatever look good. Jason Tatum never gonna have a storyline. He's just always gonna be the best player on the best team. He's probably gonna average 27, 9, and 5, something like that on decent efficiency. It's just not enough when somebody else is doing 30, 12, and 10, like or 12 and 8. Like it's just not gonna happen.
It's like someone to try and give like DeMar a real case when he was like on a 1 seed Raptors team, or like one of the dudes in like the 2015 Hawks.
Yeah, DeMar, he averaged like 27. He averaged like 27, like
and he was never conversation. I feel like he was never that serious in the conversations.
He also did it on the Bulls too. It wasn't an MVP conversation. He did it on the Bulls a few years ago. He was in that conversation
like
too.
That 2015 Hawks team, that was like a great team, and like again, it did not have the talent that Boston did.
Nobody averaged over like 18 points.
And that's where I'm saying, like, again, this Boston team has more talent, but they're both built kind of similarly with how you have so many, like, just really, like, above average good players. You know what I mean? Like, it's built out a starting 5 full of guys of similar talent. Like, you have guys, like, I said the 2015 Hawks team was more, like, built out. Like, you had, they had 5 All-Stars. Did they not have 5 All-Stars that year?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, like that team should never have deserved 4 All-Stars.
They made an All-Star team, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That team did not have an MVP candidate because they were the best team in basketball, and they should not have 4 All-Stars. They were just the number 1 seed because they played well together as a team.
All right. Another year. Another Jalen Green hot streak. I mean, we see. All right, I'm not gonna start a segment off like that. Jalen Green has been playing amazing basketball to begin the year. Over his last 10 games, he's been averaging some crazy numbers. Is this another Jalen Green hot streak, or is this like the real thing this time? Is this a breakout season, or is this a breakout stretch for Jalen Green into stardom, or is this another hot streak? That's the question. Max, go ahead.
I feel like this is gonna sound like rude, disrespectful, but like I don't care. I really need to see more. Like you said, like we see these little spurts, like a decent amount, and again, this is at a high clip. I was going to put the last couple of games, obviously, last 5, 34, 42, 27, 29, 33, all on pretty good efficiency, all shooting well from the three-point line. Like, he's scoring good points. Like, I'm not saying as a whole, but he's scoring the basketball at a high clip. And again, like, we see this with the Cam Thomas. We see this, like, where you kind of get these crazy spurts of going off, and it's like, is this real or is it not? And again, we've seen it firsthand with Jalen Green. So it's like, I'm going to be a little hesitant and just say, like, let me see another month of this. Because again, this is one thing Houston needs. Houston needs a scorer. They need that number one guy. And again, if all Jalen Green does is goes out and score the basketball and gets you 30, 35 points, Houston needs that. Houston needs a guy to go to down the stretch, because when it comes to their team, they have defensive pieces. They have youth. They have guys that they can kind of come up with. You have guys who can facilitate the ball. You have kind of everything you need to really build a championship level roster. They just need to develop one, and 2, you need a go-to guy. And if Jalen Green can fill that role, more power to him. This team could look really good in a couple years. But I want to pump the brakes and kind of just wait a little bit longer, see him against a couple better teams. Err on the side of caution.
Hey, man, this is not nothing. He's still having technically he's having a career year. Like, he's shooting his best he's had. He's had all his career, and he's still average. He's not doing anything. He just got a huge bump off the last 10 games. He's not really doing anything we haven't seen before. In about 2 weeks, it's going to tail back down, and everything's going to go back to the way it was before. He has been defending a little bit better this year, but it's not enough to make you think it's on the bank on, and scoring is still shot diet. Efficiency is still a lot to be desired. So I think we're still seeing the same Jalen Green. It's just how it comes every year. At least once or twice he goes on a stretch like this.
I think for stars, like the bona fide stars in this league, one thing that they are is consistent. They don't have super low lows and then super high highs. It's like consistency. Jalen Green has super high highs and super low lows. And it's been illustrated this season. His last 10 games, 27.7 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists, 64 true shooting. The 29 games before that, the much larger sample size, he was at 19 points per game, 5 boards, 3 assists on 53 true shooting. So much worse. When you have a star, you want to see consistency. Every year, Rockets fans, or for the last 2 seasons, Rocket fans have seen this from Jalen Green, and then they believe in him, and then they get their heart broken. They just need to wait for 2 more months of this. Even if he does this for 30 more games, I would still be a bit skeptical. I'm not going to lie, because it's like year 4 for this to happen. But he's definitely been playing great, and I think a lot of that has to do with Amin Thompson becoming a starter since Jabari Smith has went down. When Amin Thompson and Jalen Green are on the floor without Fred VanVleet, the Rockets have a 119 offensive rating and a 107.8 defensive rating, combined for a plus 11 net rating. So when those two have been on the floor without Fred VanVleet, they've been really, really good over the course of this season. And I feel like Amin Thompson is kind of unlocking him a little bit by giving him another player that can get downhill and get to the rim. And Fred VanVleet just doesn't have that in his game. Also, he's been really good with Sengun in the pick and roll as of late. And the one trend about these Jalen Green streaks of amazing play is his three-point shooting and pull-up shooting gets to unsustainable levels. Right now, he's shooting 45% from 3 or something like that. It gets to levels that he cannot sustain. So for Rockets fans, it's for me you just want to see that he can stay consistent for the rest of the season, not play at average 30 points per game, but his efficiency shouldn't revert back to 53 true shooting. Because last year he had that 1 month in March where he was really good. Every other month out there, he was bad. And that's kind of how it's been this season as well. So it's a little bit different because they've been beating good teams. And he's been more consistent than he was even in that stretch last year. So, but I would just hold my horses. I've seen on Twitter they saying that the redraft will go exactly how it was last time, and that Mobley wouldn't go over him, Sengun wouldn't go over him. Like it's Rockets fans are pretty much just delusional. A lot of them are about Jalen Green. I'm gonna talk about him a little bit more. We talk about the Suns because I have a take I have about that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like. I've been very critical of Jalen Green in his career. A little bit too harsh and overcritical, especially when I was saying he's gonna be more like a Jordan Clarkson type of player. His talent is obviously more than that, and we see that with the highs. Is that he has to be a lot more consistent. So I'm still pumping the brakes on it. I want to see it for a lot longer stretch because when players like Cade Cunningham break out, we see it over a course of a whole season. Like even if he starts slow, he has like a 30 games stretch where he's playing amazing basketball. He had that last year. This year, he's been amazing for like the last 30 games. So, and it's leading to wins with a worse roster. So, yeah, I don't know. With Jalen Green, I just want to see it for a lot longer for me to be convinced that he's actually capable of being a star level player because I don't think that he is right now. But I think we all had the same take on that, so no need to spend too much longer on that. Let's talk about my Pistons, man. I think it's like the second Pistons topic. Is this the second Pistons topic?
What?
My Pistons. What do you mean? Our Pistons. Our Pistons, Q. My bad. My bad.
I was here first, gang. What the hell? Crazy, boy.
I want to start this off, man. Listen, man. Since Jaden Ivey got injured, prayers up to him. I hope he has a speedy recovery. Cade Cunningham has averaged 29.2 points per game, 6 rebounds, 9 assists on 62 true shooting. The Pistons have been 41.6 points better when he's on the floor. They're 5-1 in that span. Those are MVP level numbers. The real dude, bro. I never wavered on Cade. I never wavered on Cade, man. Look what happens. This season is just proof of what happens when he gets a bit of spacing around him. A bit. Malik Beasley has been great this year, shooting over 40% from three. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been fine. Tobias Harris has been fine, and he's provided a veteran presence. But once Cade Cunningham got some adults on the team, some spacing on the team, he completely broke out into an all-star level player and possibly an all-NBA level player. And so, man, I'm happy to see this. The Pistons are, they're a good they're a fine basketball team. They're fine. They're not like I don't think they're a good team. They're fine. The East is very weak. They're a decent basketball team. I think we're on pace for like 44 wins this season or something like that. It's been a really good season, and the improvement is a lot has to do with the roster, which the roster still isn't great. It's not great by any stretch of imagination. We still need a lot more on this roster, but a lot of credit to JB Bickerstaff, man. He's turned it around. He got a lot of flack when he got fired last year, and the Cavs flamed out in the playoffs. But I knew JB is a great coach. I knew he'd be a great coach for this team. The offense has went from 27th last year to 16th this year. Defense has went from 25th last year to 15th this year. The net rating, we were one of the worst teams in the league. -9 net rating to -1 this year. And the three-point shooting, the spacing has been a big difference. Last year we were 26 in three-point percentage with 34%, and this year we're 11th, damn near top 10 with 37% from the three-point line. A lot of it has to do with Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Cade being a better three-point shooter, Jay Nye being a better three-point shooter before he went down. Ron Holland, as of late, has been a better three-point shooter. So much credit to Fred Vinson. He's been doing an amazing job so far, fixing the jump shots, man. The culture is just in a much different place. I can talk about the Pistons for a long time. I can talk about them for hours. It's been a much better team this year. Haven't missed a game from them this year. And the future is looking bright. The future is looking bright. I don't know. We're not gonna get the pick this year, probably. That's gonna go to Minnesota. Man.
Why do you not think you'll get the pick?
Because we're gonna be too good.
I think
December was
because I still think funniest case scenario, you guys miss the playoffs, have terrible odds at the number 1 overall pick, and now is the year that you guys get the number 1 overall pick with like
that's not possible. We're way too.
horrible odds to get the top pick. I thought that'd
That
be
would be a
so
blessing.
funny. For the amount of
We
years that you guys
we
had
deserve it.
like top 4, whatever, damn near guaranteed and dropped out, that the one year you have like a Bulls type odds, you get Cooper Flag. That'd be insane. So
So welcome. Pull
it'd be
up.
a
Yeah,
perfect, it'd be a
we
perfect
deserve it.
position too. Perfect position.
We could potentially
Like
make a
that,
move.
though. We don't need to be banking on that no more. This is a different. This is a
We don't
whole
need more
saying.
young talent.
thing.
We don't need no more young talent. I'm not gonna lie. Not right now.
Take Cooper Flag, bro. What? Anyways,
Well, obviously, but yeah, but what we thinking, Q? What we thinking, Q?
I don't even gotta run anything too much down. This is coaching and average to above average NBA players. Before there was no NBA players on the team outside of Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. Now there's NBA players on the roster. You could poo-poo how you think about Tim Hardaway Jr., what you think about Malik Beasley, what you think about Tobias Harris. The way people view them is what they look like on teams that are trying to win. Obviously, they're not those type of players. On a team with no expectations, they're the perfect players to have on a team.
Facts.
They do exactly what you need on a team. With a team with no NBA players, you've seen what Cade was doing. You give him the slightest bit of spacing, the tiniest bit of spacing, he flourishes. He still has the turnover issues, but every month, if you just look at them, every month they have gone down. He's more comfortable. Things are more open. You literally have to guard players now, unless you want to let Malik Beasley go for 25 points. Like that sounds crazy to me. You're not going to leave him open. You're not leaving Tim Hardaway open. You're not leaving Tobias Harris open. You know what I'm saying? Now things are looking a whole lot different. I said this probably was going to be a 35-win team coming in. Sounded like it was kind of crazy, but they look like they about to hit that in about the next 2 months. So that's fine. That's an A+ season to me because they were literally the worst team in the league damn near last year. Like now you finally got a culture. Now you can start trying to see what you can do. If they don't even need that pick because having that pick keep conveying the next year and the next year and the next year allows them to not make any type of trades if they want to make a trade because now they have more picks to use to actually bring somebody to put next to Cade. So winning is always going to be a good thing for this team. They do not need nobody young, talented that they want to hope flourishing in 3 years. We out of that. This is not a win now team, but we're looking to be, take those steps of trying to actually be contenders in the Eastern Conference.
Max, what are you thinking?
I mean, this is getting Troy Weaver out of there. I really think that this is just kind of like it's about time that they kind of actually put pieces towards building a team around him. I think this whole Cade's potential, Cade's ability to kind of turn into the superstar has always been there. I think there's obviously been doubters to it. People kind of undervaluing what he is because he is on the Pistons, but the talent has always been there, and he is obviously breaking out in this role. I think the Jaden Ivey injury is like obviously not great, but for his development and for like kind of showing what he really can do, like take over that offense, be the number 1 primary, like taking Jaden Ivey out of there, it just gives him an even bigger role than what he already has. I think the veteran leadership though can't go understated. I really think that when you have guys who came from contenders and championship teams, whatever, to come to Detroit again with a team where you guys said I think grown-ups was the word. Again, like this team was so young last year. Just not really well managed. It was a shit show. And I think to get in new leadership, to get in JB, who again, I think that divorce looks great right now. I think JB's doing his thing out here. The Cavs are obviously happy with Kenny Atkinson out there. Both sides are doing well, and JB's got his team now to go forward with. This team though you got to figure out how you're going to kind of add to this next year. How are you going to add secondary scoring that actually complements Cade and doesn't kind of clash with Cade? I really think you got to look towards the bigs. I think you got to look towards another wing because I'm not a huge Jaden Ivey person. I don't really know if you guys are either, but I think that there are definitely moves to be made. So I think the biggest thing though is just making sure that pieces fit with Cade. Yeah, I said that right. Because again, he's showing you right now that he can be that guy for you. I don't think right now Cade can develop into a number 1 in the championship team. It's going to take a lot from me. I think you got to have a really good 2 if that's the case. So I think that there's still, again, a lot of work to be made, but I think to be a 14-win team last year, to being 7 games above that before the All-Star break right now and probably go a little higher. It's obviously great progress for them. So if you're a Pistons fan, you're on cloud 9. This kind of gives me a little bit of our 6 seed Thunder vibes when we made it the 1 year with CP3 and everybody.
I mean, I think the jury is still out on the ceiling of these players. I mean, Jaden Ivey was putting it all together before he went down. He was having the best year of his career, especially from 3. Was getting to the rim as well. The defense and the playmaking is still wasn't there, but he was having the best year of his career before the injury. So I think we'll have to give him some grace when he comes back. But do I think he's going to be a second option on a championship team? No. I'm not sure that Cade is going to be the number 1 option on a championship team because his finishing still needs to improve greatly. He's shooting like 53% at the rim right now. It's not the greatest at all. So that part of his game needs to get better and by a lot. He needs to be closer to like 60 for him to really move me as a championship number 1. Because if that happens, then he will be a top 10 player in the league type of thing. His finishing goes better. His mid-range is really, really good. The 3-point pull-up shooting over the last like 80 games it's been really good. Turnovers, I'm not really concerned about, especially if he's going to average like 10 assists. I mean, you have that much amount of usage, you're going to turn the ball over. But down the stretch, he needs to be better. He needs to be better dribbling through traffic, especially. So he still has a lot of ways to go, but he's only in year 4, and he's been improving basically every year. So it's really year 3, but because of the injury.
All right, let me get into my K. Would you rather?
What you got for me, man? What you got for me and Q?
All right, so I have a Cade Cunningham would you rather, and I have 6 names that I need you guys to tell me who you would rather have. At number 1, we have Kyrie Irving.
Cade. It depends on the question.
I don't know.
Would you rather?
Right now today?
Would you rather? Yeah, for me, in my opinion of this question of a would you rather, if you, Q, are given a basketball team today, if you're doing a fantasy draft, if you are picking your team, who are you picking? If you're given the option of these 2 players, who you're picking to start with your team going forward?
Cade.
Who's the better basketball player in your opinion?
Cade.
Latif.
Are we talking about right now or like? I don't know.
Again, would you rather? I'm not even gonna say it. Would you rather?
Because Luka, I mean, like Kyrie has scaled up without Luka. He averaged 27, 6, and 5 on 57.7 true shooting. I'll take Cade. It's the playmaking gap. It's a playmaking gap for me.
Next up is Damian Lillard.
If I'm taking Cade over Kyrie, I'm taking Cade over Dame.
Gotta have some order in there.
It's crazy. We just did a Dame. Would you rather like literally like a month ago, and I'm pretty sure you took Dame.
Dame over who?
You took Dame over Cade. I'm pretty sure. You remember you said on that video with KD?
No.
I gotta go look, but damn, bro.
I'm glad I'm getting the hard questions out of there.
Hold on. I'll take Cade. Damn it. Hold on, my bad. I'll take Cade. It's just a playmaking gap. Like I think there's a big playmaking gap. Obviously, Dame is a more efficient scorer, a better scorer, but he is doing it next to Giannis Antetokounmpo, which Cade doesn't have that affordability.
Next up, we have Cade or LaMelo Ball.
Cade.
Right now it's Cade.
I'm taking Cade.
I took Cade. I took Cade before the season too. So like,
these 2 guys have been connected this entire year for this podcast.
Yeah, I'm taking Cade. He stays on the floor more. I do think LaMelo is probably the better playmaker, but it's not by a lot, in my opinion. I think Cade is a better scorer in terms of like all 3 levels too. Both of them really struggle finishing at the rim. LaMelo is a better 3-point shooter, but Cade has stepped that part of his game up, and he's way better in the mid range as well. He can put his back to the basket, and I really value how much he's improved the Pistons this year. To be honest, I really value that.
Next up, we have Cade or Ja.
Ja Morant.
Ja.
Thank you.
Not that we're not there yet.
Okay, just making sure because there were some nasty Ja narratives coming out before this season. Before this season, people were talking crazy on Ja, and I'm glad that Memphis is doing better to kind of put the Ja doubters out. Next up, we have Cade Cunningham or De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox.
Fox. Yeah.
And last up, we have Cade Cunningham or Trae Young. It's a good one. I had to end on a good one.
Trae Young's efficiency has been awful this year.
Yeah, he been bad, but he hasn't. His efficiency has been bad, but he hasn't been bad. Like Trae Young has been very good this year. It's just
he's been more efficient than Cade though. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like I've seen Trae like Cade ain't to the point where he's backpacking like top 10 offenses type shit like back to back. So I'm gonna go with Young. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trae Young for like right now. But
yeah, Trae is.
I don't know.
Trae is still a better playmaker. Trae is still a more efficient scorer, even in one of his down years. I'll take Trae. But I think Trae is definitely a top 20 player, though. All right, let's move on. The Suns, we're in like year, 2, 3, 2.5 of this experiment with Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and now Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal has moved to the bench. There's been some trade rumors. They traded for Nick Richards to fix their center problem because Mark Williams gave them like 30 and 20. So what do we think about the Suns' struggles this year? My question, Q, I know you're a KD fan. Like, at what point should the Suns just blow this thing up?
Right now. I was never ever like a fan of this like move. Like I didn't think it was worth it. I think it did worse for like Kevin Durant's like overall outlook than it did like for like on-court type of things. Even though he's been great, just a bad mix of bad roster construction, banking on like name value instead of like trying to put a team together. Especially in this age of the NBA where like at most it's 2 stars. You have a lot of like role player depth and things like that. They just opted to stick to like what probably would have been a great team in 2019, but as of right now, it's not like that's not how the league is run. I think they should try and get whatever they can for both their star players. If you're not going to move off Devin Booker, who's probably going to go down as your best player of all time, well, second best player of all time. You're probably going to try and build around him. At most, you could get for KD, you probably could still get yourself 2 first, maybe 3, maybe. Try to get some depth. I try to ship him back to the Warriors, get Kuminga, day 2 picks, whatever it is. I don't think they're really going to move off D-Book, but I think they're just not a recycler. Like get rid of the experiment altogether.
Max, when do you think it's time for the Suns to blow this thing up?
Tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie. I think this might be one of my worst takes. I don't even know if it was this year or last year. I believe in this team. My mistake. This team sucks. The injuries obviously don't help. Bradley Beal not being able to be in the starting lineup does not help. Like this team is just not what anyone thought it was. What I thought it was going to be. KD going down early in the season, obviously lose a couple games. The KD Devin Booker duo works again. I think they are both 2 good players who can play side by side. They just don't have the help. They don't have anything. Tyus Jones not doing what I thought he would do. Really running that offense. He has an easy job, in my opinion. You literally have to pass to 2 of the best scorers in the league.
All he does is table set, bro. That's all he does. Is table set.
That's what I'm saying. I just don't think it works. Like getting hit open shots, whatever. Yusuf Nurkic sucks. Plumlee's getting the starting minutes. If Mason Plumlee's taking your starting minutes and you're in the NBA, there's an issue. They traded for Nick Richards for a reason. So the best part of that team has probably been Ryan Dunn. Again, just has played a lot better than what people thought he was going to be coming into the league. He can shoot the 3 a little bit better. He can still defend. Grayson Allen is just looking very, very overpaid, even more by the day. The team is just not. Ishbia throws so much money in here. James Jones, it's just not looking like it's a team that's going to really contend for much. I think that, you really got to reap whatever assets you can at this point in time. I think that this team will try and do one last big trade to try and see if it's going to work. They'll try and get off Beal's contract however you can. I really don't see Ishbia and this team giving up at this point in time. But yeah, I think, again, you're just digging yourself deeper in a hole that is just going to be impossible to get out of. So I get it. You love Devin Booker. Awesome. Devin Booker could get you so much in the open market right now, especially with teams who want stars. Miami, who looks desperate right now. If Jimmy leaves, a lot of teams will want out and go and get stuff. So I think Devin Booker, you could really capitalize on value. This team is just not at all like the other top teams in the league. They don't have the depth. They don't have the defense. They don't have a lot outside of Cade and Devin Booker to really go compete with anybody.
I think the Suns have to give this one more year just because of the assets and the investment they put in this team. They have to give this team one more year. And I mean, like, not one more year as in one more calendar year, but like they have to let the season play out. Do whatever you can to improve on the margins at the deadline, which is not much. They don't have many assets at all. I see there in the Jimmy Butler Sweet 6. If they can pull it off, I probably would try to do it. But if they don't compete this season, which they won't, they have to trade Devin Booker in the offseason. I think they should do it. He is their best asset between him and Kevin Durant. And I think Houston has interest in him. Houston has their picks. They need to be bad because the only way they can be bad and it works out if they have their picks. So they need to trade Devin Booker to the Houston Rockets and get their picks back. If you can get a Jalen Green, who looks great right now and still has some upside potentially in his career, you make that move to get your picks back, get a Jalen Green, maybe a Reed Shepherd if they're willing to get off of him, or whatever. You just need to get your picks back. That's the most important thing because the 2026 NBA draft, the 2025 NBA draft has some really good talent at the top. So you guys do bad in the right moments and potentially get a high pick out of that. So that's the moves for the Suns. There's no way this team is going to win anything remotely anytime soon. They need to trade for their picks back from Houston. I personally think even if Jalen Green continues to play well, obviously not at the level he's playing right now, they should still sell high on him. If you can get a Devin Booker, you do it. If you need to give Jalen Green, I mean, I don't think Jalen Green will ever reach the peak that Devin Booker has in this league. I don't think he will. Devin Booker at his peak was a fringe top 10 player in this league, especially after 2021 and then in 2023 when he had that great playoff run. I don't think Jalen Green reaches that peak. So if I can get a Jalen Green, maybe a few other assets, my picks back, I definitely do it 10 times out of 10. You move KD, see what value he has. The Beal contract is going to be extremely hard to get off, but you might have to bite that bullet because that was an extremely dumb contract to trade for. And yes, you still do it.
I agree with the Houston. I don't think Houston goes for KD right now. It just doesn't fit timetables. Like, you have to trade D-Book if you want to get your picks. Like, it's just like, I think you'd love to trade KD for the picks, but you have to trade D-Book if you want to get those picks back. So, Q, are you there? Your screen is completely black.
Yeah, your screen black. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, like when you take it off, it's still black.
Oh,
just nothing.
I feel like that's racist.
I'm crying. But no, let's move on to another team.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Another team that needs to blow up.
The team might take a victory lap that doesn't exist.
No, it's literally no way I'm going to be wrong. Once they lose in the playoffs, it's just if they make playoffs, if they lose, I was right.
Is the best part. That's the best part of an argument. That's the best thing you say in an argument. There's no way I'm going to be wrong.
No, are they going to win the championship?
You could say that about 98% of other teams.
No,
That's what I'm trying to say.
And like I told you on the phone, that every other team doesn't have the context of the Sixers. But I'll say if they were to make the ECF, then I would say I was wrong. Because then, I mean, you damn near you were a series away from the championship. So I'll admit I was wrong if they make the ECF. Then they're not doing that. So I mean, my take has been the whole entire year. The Sixers need to tank They need to tank. If they are bad enough, they can get their pick. It's top 6 protected. And you get to rehab Joel Embiid for the rest of the season, allow him to get healthy, add a really good young player in the draft, and try again next year. They are 15-24. They're 11th in the East, and they have a top 10 hardest remaining schedule to end the year. They can potentially make the playoffs this year in the East because it's weak, but they will have to play Joel Embiid while he is definitely not 100%, risk injuring him even further, and then maybe make the playoffs and lose in the first and second round. They're not beating Cleveland. They're not beating the Celtics. That team is not good enough, even with Joel Embiid healthy. So they need to just tank and try to get their pick, because it's the benefits of that is Joel Embiid gets to rehab and get healthy, and also you get to add a young player. They don't have any young talent on this team outside of Tyrese Maxey and Jeremy McCain. So they need to accumulate that for the future and for allowing Joel Embiid to get healthy for another year. Paul George has clearly regressed. Clearly, he's right now he's providing like elite level role player impact. That's what Paul George is doing right now. And he's getting paid like $50 million. That was a terrible decision to make to give him that contract. Tyrese Maxey is extremely Joel Embiid reliant. If Joel Embiid is not on the floor, he gets much worse. His playmaking is still average or to below average. They need young talent. The third best young player on this team is Justin Edwards, no troll, or Quincy or Ricky Council, fourth. They have none of the young talent. So right now it looks like they're an old, aging, top heavy roster. They need to tank. And I told you this.
You said old twice.
Because that's how old they are. I didn't say it twice.
Old and aging is the same thing.
Whatever. I told you this when they were 2-12. They need to pack it up. You said that was the worst take I've ever had. You said it was stupid. Jaden said it was up there with my Derrick Henry take was really bad. And
yes. Because you do not give up in a season 14 games into it. Yes. You do not give up in the season.
I saw it right on the wall, bro. Joel Embiid was clearly injured, and it was clearly bad. He rushed himself back.
Hold on.
He rushed himself back last year in the playoffs, and then he decided to play in the Olympics. Further injuring him. Again. I will echo Q's words, especially if you are at 14 games in the season. There is no way the NBA itself will let you sit your stars in the 15th game onto the 82nd game. And just be like, that's fine. That's fine. No, we're good with that. This team's ass Joel Embiid. They don't need to sit their stars. Joel
Embiid
what I'm trying to say, like long injury history. Sitting him out for shutting him down for a season because of some injury is not out of the question at all. It's very easy to prove, like to give you the benefit of doubt because of his injury history. People have done it with Zion Williamson, where he get a hamstring injury and he's out for the rest of the year. Like it's happened with players. It happened with Kawhi a few seasons back. Like with these injury-prone players, you don't have to make it overly believable. And so my take was never bad. It was actually correct. It's still correct. I'm going to keep victory lapping it throughout the season. Every time Joel beat this game,
I can't have a conversation with you about this because your mind is so like deluded.
You said it was
like,
a dumb take.
The best
yes, no sense.
Yes, it does not make sense to end again, and I'll restate the same thing I just said 5 seconds ago. It does not make sense to rest the MVP, the guy you paid $50 million to,
I'm saying that guy you paid $50 million. Paul George sucks. They do not have to rest him to be a bad team. He has been awful this year relative to his standards of a $50 million player. Stop saying you have to rest him. Tyrese Maxey is not good. He's not as good as he can be.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we can go back to the video. I'm not going to hash this out. We can go back to that video and we propose this question. No, sit him. You should sit him.
Yes.
What?
Joel Embiid, yes.
Sit him for that long. That's just not
he's
like
injured, bro. It's not just sitting him like he's healthy. He's injured. He's clearly injured. He's missed 5 straight games. Why are you acting like they just sit him because of some random shit? He's hurt, bro. He's hurt.
Bro, understand, but again, PG's hurt. I get it. So you could rest him with that, but Tyrese is
he's healthy.
He's been hurt all year. He'll be back next year.
What is your?
What do you got?
Do you have an argument right? So,
Not beef. I don't
Rex,
really have a real take on this.
what's your stance right
That's
now?
what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think, and I still, you can look at the text. I don't think there is a take here. I honestly don't think there's a take.
I'm giving you the take. What do you mean it's not a take? There's definitely a take.
Maybe I just don't. Maybe it doesn't click in my head. I don't understand. Like,
You said, I'm giving you
again,
the take.
the logic you're trying to convey just does not make sense to me of resting people. And again, like what you said,
Stop
at
saying
game
people.
14,
One person is one person. That's let me. I just laid the take out for you. It's
they're
one
3
person.
games behind. And again,
Joel
they're 3
Embiid,
games.
the
They are
Sixers
3 games
ass out
behind.
Joel Embiid.
Huh?
It's
My
not
only
rest.
thing is,
It's not rest, Max. It's rehabbing them. Joel Embiid is clearly hurt. I don't know how much more clearly that has to be like said. He's missed 5 straight games. He was hurt in the Olympics. He was hurt in the playoffs. He's injured. He's not healthy at all. It's not resting him. It's rehabbing him. He's hurt. And you put Joel Embiid on the bench. The team is dog shit. They're not good without Joel Embiid. They're very bad without Joel Embiid. They don't need to rest Paul George. Paul George can lead a tank. He's that he can lead a tank, bro. I don't want to tell you. He can. Maxi's not good without like Joel Embiid. He's not as good as he can be without Joel Embiid. Like, I don't really know what's the pushback. What I want to know your logic. You keep saying you don't understand. I want to know your logic with them making the playoffs or trying to make the playoffs. Or give me your logic. Why should they not rest Joel Embiid this year?
one, my only thing is, I think if you sit him for a little bit longer, with how bad the East is, they are not a team where I'm saying coast to make the playoffs because you can't coast with this team. All I'm saying is they have the top end talent when Joel Embiid is there to actually make noise. And my only idea is that this team with Joel Embiid, if you can get him rested, if you rehab him, whatever you want to do for a month and a half, 2 months, and try to get him back on the court to push back for the playoffs, if you could sneak it as an 8 seed, you're going to have to meet
They're not
Boston.
doing that. You said resting for one month.
I'm just saying, rest him for whatever you need. I'm like, with how bad the East is, you could sneak in. And my only thought process is you're going to have to play Boston either way. You're going to have to play Cleveland either way. There's Max, just like
they cannot sneak in unless Joel Embiid plays like the last 30
what do you mean
games.
They can't sneak? They're 3 games back, and you need to win 2 games that you'll play Joel Embiid in the play-in.
What are you talking about?
They're 3 games back from the play-in.
They're 3 games back from the play-in. The Bulls they're not good. The Heat are not good.
Yep.
But they're not going to make up 3 games. Is not a small margin. I promise you, it's not. It's not. At this juncture of the season, it's not a small margin. It's not. If you're not playing Joel Embiid, if you're not playing Joel Embiid, that's not a small margin at all. With their schedule, you keep missing it. They have the ninth hardest.
Yeah, I know you keep saying that. I think that's like the 6th time you said it. Miami's trying to trade Jimmy Butler. Fact or fiction?
Huh?
The Bulls are having a fire sale of the whole team. Fact or fiction?
Yes.
Okay. If those 2 teams trade away their top players,
I haven't traded any of those players yet. But go ahead.
Is that not who's the hottest name in trade rumors right now?
It's very hard. It's going to be very hard to. Well, Vucevic, you can get off, but teams don't want Zach LaVine. Clearly, I don't know.
I understand teams also don't want Jimmy Butler, but I think both of them. I think Zach LaVine will stay. All I'm saying is both those teams make trades, and they are significantly worse than Philly's roster. I think as it is right now without Joel Embiid. So I'm not like I think they could definitely make up ground in those games. So I get your same strength schedule. All I'm saying is that with Joel Embiid on that team, I would take with Joel Embiid on that team, I would take that Philly team over majority of the East, besides maybe 3-4 teams, and you could put him in contention to play against those teams. So that's why I'm saying the only team that would safely have them over
is Boston. Sneak into the playoffs, get the AC, and then lose to Cleveland or Boston in the first round.
I think it's. I mean,
again,
I don't think Joel Embiid wants to be there. And again, you're gonna say like next year they're gonna be back to where they are, whatever. I don't know. I don't think teams just want to play for a loser too. I don't think players would like to play for a losing organization. So,
bro, he wants to. He can't. Bro, I don't think Joel Embiid has leverage in this situation at all, really. Because
I just think Joel Embiid's getting out one way or another. Joel Embiid's going to get out sooner or later.
Would be like super high considering his injuries, and also they got Paul George because of him. Like literally, like they signed him because they want
to get off his money. You can get off his money what in 2 years, a year?
Paul George, no, you cannot get off his money in 2 years. He's locked in for 4 years, bro.
After this year, does he not have 2 more years? Like I'm saying, like could you not get out of it? And you could trade an expiring deal. After this year, 2 more years, and he's in the final year of his contract.
Well, I don't think he got no options. I think it's just 4 straight years.
Yeah, I agree. So I don't know, bro. I don't really know the logic. You're not giving me much logic. Your logic is to squeak into the playoffs and then lose in the first, second round. That's better than getting your pick. in a draft pick. I don't think GMs think like that because if they did, the Mavericks wouldn't
My
have.
only thing is I don't think players think like I don't know. Players aren't gonna sacrifice either their career. My point at the start was that I don't think that at 15 games through the year, it is a complete loss of a season. It's done. It's over. Because again, as we see right now, they are still in contention for a playoff spot. If you want to say they're not getting it, whatever. Without Joel Embiid, like you just said, they're 8-18 without Joel Embiid. They are still in contention for a playoff spot. So that's my thing. Is saying
they're 7-18 without Joel Embiid. I did not say they were 8-8. I don't know where you got that from. They were
8-18. I have 8-18.
I think 7-18. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. 8-18 without Joel Embiid is not a playoff team. But my whole point is, even if they make the playoffs, which that's doubtful, because again, you're keeping ignoring it. They have the ninth hardest strength of schedule. This is not a cakewalk anymore.
Well, I'm not ignoring it. I think that's the 8th time you said it now. Again, I literally just mentioned the strength schedule. Like, huh? I just said that 5 minutes ago.
So even with Joel Embiid returning, they still have a hard schedule, though. Is my point. Especially with Joel Embiid returning.
With Joel Embiid returning, they're a significantly better basketball team.
Not if he's banged up and playing hurt. They're not though. And what would be the point of playing Joel Embiid while he's hurt and risking longer term injury? I don't think a player will also, a player he don't want to be on a losing team, but he also don't want to risk long term injury for a team that is not going to compete for a championship this year, and they're not.
Joel Embiid's shown that he's willing to sit out before. So again, I understand that he's been willing to sit out. He's been willing to miss time. Yeah, I still don't agree with at the start of the year.
Just sit out.
No, I don't agree with that either, Max. Listen, Max.
Yeah, I don't think Joel ever sat out.
You said my team.
All I'm saying is he's missed time, and it's just
that's because he common occurrence. You said my argument was dumb. I think.
Well, again, I think until recently, I did not understand. I didn't understand what you're kind of trying to sway. Because again, we've talked about this where it was resting all the starters, and you were cool with resting all the starters.
You keep putting that word in your mouth.
We'll go back to the video.
Q, did I ever say rest all the starters? Did I ever say that? I don't know why you keep saying that. You don't need to rest all the starters.
Wait.
Your whole team. Stop saying that. You don't even need to rest PG. He's ass. Stop saying that, bro. PG's best years are behind him.
All right, relax.
That's my whole point, Max. And you said my take was dumb. Your argument, your rebuttal.
Again, the picture you sent in the group chat is all three players being out of the game, aka that they're benching all three players. That's what you're kind of trying to sway.
Those players played. PG and Maxi played that same night, and I sent that text. I sent that message because it's not saying they were tanking.
You posting that picture is like trying to say, oh, they're sitting all three starters, aka they're sitting all three starters. Looks like a lot like collusion, which is why Q follows up with they're going to get investigated. Again, because you're sending that picture to try and sway that all three players are going to be sitting out.
I've told you like 45 times they don't need to sit every player, bro. I've told you that.
And I also think that again, I get your ninth hardest strength schedule, but they're a better basketball team than Miami without Butler.
They're not just playing the East, bro. They're not just playing the bottom feeder in the East. They're going to play the Celtics.
I literally just said that.
Okay, so you can talk about the bottom of the East. They have to play the best teams in the league too. So that's
I just simply said bottom of the East as far as like I don't care if the Bulls have a better strength schedule. The Bulls will get significantly worse as a team and lose games. Same with Miami if they trade Jimmy Butler. That's what I'm trying to say.
Those players that they have, it's not guaranteed that
that's what I'm trying to say. If they're a better basketball team, I would have more confidence in them beating good teams than other teams beating good teams. Because I don't think Chicago's a good team. And I don't think Miami's. Again, this whole debate I think is stupid. But
you're not providing me any logic though. Your logic is very flawed. You want them to squeak into a playoff appearance to lose in the first and second round.
Again, because I think that if Joel Embiid can get healthy, I believe in this Philly team.
If Joel Embiid can get healthy, when has that ever happened? That logic is flawed. He goes into every single playoff season. I mean, every single playoff's hurt. When do we mean?
Why does this season change anything else? If he goes into every single playoff season injured,
when has Joel Embiid ever been healthy? Ever?
I'm just saying, if you're saying he goes in injured every single year, then why is this year any different? Because your team's worse without him? Because you're already losing? You're just going to give up?
Because you have an opportunity to get your pick, and you're already at 15 and 24. When he got injured last year, they were at the top of the East. it made no sense for them just to tank. This year they don't have their pick, and this year they are already 15-24. That's why this year is different. Next question, because it's not making any sense.
But that's what that's where I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Has never been hurt. That's not saying if Zion Williamson got healthy. What are we doing right now? Or if Kawhi Leonard got healthy. Those are things that don't happen. Anyways, let's move on, man. I gotta.
I've said that. I think I said that like 5 minutes ago.
No, because I'm Vic dropping this take all year. Y'all gonna get tired of me. You're gonna get tired of me because I'm sending it, and I might send that shit every loss the Sixers take because I got ridiculed for that. I got ridiculed for that by Jaden and
I still don't. I don't believe, but
what? So what would it take? What would it take for you to say the take wasn't the dumbest shit ever? What would it take?
This season's only 20 games long.
You're not.
I think just giving up on a season again. I just think giving up a season when you're not.
Can you do a trivia while I load this guest the PPG stuff?
I got my trivia.
Go ahead, bro.
Actually, I think we did wings last time. We did wings or guards. We did wings. We did King of the Hill wings last time. Now I am giving you guys a King of the Hill, but of bigs. This is all power forwards and centers. And again, I will give you a player. Give you another player. You have to pick who is the better one, which one you'd rather have going forward, whatever. And it'll keep going.
Do you know what a big is? Because last time you didn't know what a guard was or a wing. I'm just asking.
All right, bro. Cool. Number one up, your player you're starting with is Alex Sarr. Is that a big for you?
Yes, sir. Barely though. You want to play like a wing so bad.
All right. Alex Sarr or Daniel Gafford?
Daniel Gafford. I don't know why. Are we talking about like right now? Daniel Gafford.
King of the Hill. Who's the better player? Q, you got to be in this too. I need a.
Consensus. If it's better player, it's Gafford.
Gafford?
Yeah, today.
Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively?
Derek Lively.
Last year for sure.
It's close. It's close. I'll take Lively.
I'll take Lively. Yeah, that's fine.
Derek Lively or Brooke Lopez?
Brooke Lopez.
Bro was like 37.
Open.
He's still a better player, I guess.
Brooke Lopez? Brooke Lopez or Ivica Zubac?
Zubac. Easy.
Zubac or Jared Allen?
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen or his teammate, Evan Mobley?
Come on.
Mobley, best defender in the world.
Mobley or Bam?
Mobley. Facts.
Mobley or Sabonis?
Mobley.
Yes.
Mobley or Cat?
Cat
is very bad defensively. I'm taking Mobley.
He's so much better offensively.
Gotta figure it out some way. Rock, paper, scissors or some shit.
No. I'll defer to Q. We can go with Cat.
Cat or Chet?
Chet.
Come on, dog.
Unfortunately, I had to do it then, but Chet or Wemby?
Wemby.
Come on.
Wemby. I knew Wemby would get at the end, but I just wanted to see everything. I wanted to see you guys pick in between. So,
all right, let me get this loaded into the screen. I gotta guess the what's called thing. I got two of them real quick, and then we can get to our divisional rounds. This game just started, so we can get out of here. But present slides PDF, Google Slides. Oh my god. It's a close game so far, Max.
Oh, never mind. As you said, just wait till Cleveland runs away with it because it's not even a game.
We about to. Hey, that's Shea for you, man. MVP. All right, y'all. Wait, this is processing. Guess Guess the NBA team based on their starting lineups, points per game. Let's start with Q.
What conference is in?
The Eastern Conference.
Well, I feel stuck.
I'm just pulling up the standings.
Is this the Magic?
No, this is not the Magic.
I was thinking so too. That was my guess.
Is this Toronto?
This is the Raptors. The starting point guard, Emmanuel Quickly, averages 16.2. Grady Dick at the shooting guard also averages 16.2. Small forward is RJ Barrett at 22.4. Didn't know he was the team's leading scorer. The power forward is Scotty Barnes, 20.3 points per game. And the center is Jakob Poto at 14.9 points per game. Next team up. Guess the NBA team based on their starting lineups, points per game.
Let me get this one.
Shay is cooking.
Who's got a shooting guard? It's gonna be hooping. Is it Minnesota?
Yep.
This is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Great guess. How did you get it that fast?
Center's mid. No, whatever. Having a good shooting guard and secondary help from the power forward. The center obviously doesn't score a lot, but it was basically from the shooting guard, power forward.
Yeah, the Minnesota offense is abysmal.
I didn't know Mike Conley only had 7.7 on the year.
Mike Conley all the way down at 7.7. It's time to wrap it up for him.
Oh God, man, shifty.
Ant Edwards, 26 points per game. Julius Randle, the power forward, at 19.5. Rudy, like one of his worst offensive seasons at 10 points per game. Jaden McDaniels has impressed immensely. He's at 10 points per game. Very tragic for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But let's move on to the NFL as our last topic for today. We gotta get our NFL divisional round predictions in today because the games are on Saturday. So let's bring up this schedule. Let's start with who was the Texans and Chiefs?
Yep, 4:30.
Yep, KC, next game.
I'm crying. No, we're gonna do our due diligence with every team and give sort of profit respect to each team. So, first game up in the divisional round: Texans versus Chiefs. Who we got?
It's Kansas City, and I've seen a lot of people like the last couple of days talking about how the D-line gonna get after it, and they got Dick really all pro. He's gonna be locking down whoever, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, they're talking as if we didn't see this matchup 3 weeks ago. That same D-line that got shut out by the Chiefs, Derek Stingley, who was barely a factor in the game. The Chiefs went up and down the field basically for the whole game and then took their foot off the gas. We seen this matchup 3 weeks ago. It was still fresh. And we're talking about a healthy Patrick Mahomes, healthy and rested Travis Kelce, Chris Jones. Everybody's back. O-line. You don't even know who's going to start at left tackle. If Joe Tooney's out there, so be it. It don't matter. They're locking stuff up. We've seen the O-line been good since they made that switch. I don't think the Texans, they win this round. They're going to get beat down. Same old shit. KC going to the Arrowhead Invitational.
Next.
Like I said, I really don't have much to say about the game. I'll take KC. Texans receiver room beat up. We know. They played well versus the Chargers, but I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a incompetency at the offensive side of the ball for the Chargers more than anything. They couldn't get anything established. Credit to the Texans defense, though. I don't think the Chiefs have the same problems, and I think the Chiefs secondary and their defense is able to shut down and really make CJ Stroud pay for the mistakes that the Chargers couldn't. So I think every time that they take the ball back, Pat Mahomes obviously will put in some sort of points. So I'll take the Chiefs by 8.
It is a very interesting matchup because the Thunder, I mean, not the Thunder, the Texans defense, especially their defense line, is really good. The secondary is really good. They have a really sound defense. I think our first in takeaways and amongst the top of the league in pressures as well. But like you said, these teams have played very recently in Week 16, and in that matchup, to alleviate the pressure that the Texans, put on the offense line, the Chiefs just got a lot of stuff in the quick game. A lot of short passes. Patrick Mahomes was 17 or 19 for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns on passes under 2.5 seconds. So they just went in the quick game, beat them that way. Ran the ball, had 93 yards. So ran the ball like efficiently. CJ Stroud was 23-39, 244, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So the defense gave him a lot of pressure. Especially in the second half, they pressured on 9 of 16 of his dropbacks, which is good for his 56.3 pressure rate. So their offensive line, I think, is going to have a really big problem dealing with the Chiefs' rush. Chris Jones had a great game in that game, and I think he'll have another one come playoff time. You know how Chris Jones gets in the playoffs. So I think the Texas offense line is not good enough to handle the Chiefs' pressure. They really only have one weapon right now with Nico Collins, and the Chiefs just got back Jalen Watson, so their defense should go back to being pretty elite as well. The Chiefs are the clear pick here. I think they win by 10-14. I think we had one of those situations where Patrick Mahomes trolls in the beginning, maybe throw an interception and stuff gets a little interesting, but then he turns it around. So. And then, you don't think so?
I think they score in their first 3 possessions at halftime. This is like 21-7.
That could be a possibility too.
Very similar to the last time they messed them.
Yeah, that did happen. They scored like 51-7 last time they saw each other. 51-7 like unanswered basically. Yeah. The Texans went on like a 24-0.
Yeah, it was up 24-0. So after that, they only scored 7.
Yeah. Next game up is Commander at Lions. I think this is probably another easy one. What you guys thinking?
I think if there was to be an upset, this would be the upset pick, just because of they just got here. Jaden Daniels, he doesn't know what he doesn't know. Rookie on a high. They just basically put a house money to be dangerous. Detroit also, they're horrible at guarding quarterbacks that can run. If they want to stay in the game, they got to be able to keep the ball, because Detroit's going to try to keep the ball too with their run game. They just got Monty back. They're going to have to try to make it, with Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels off the back of them too. Hopefully, if De'Ami Brown steps up, something like that. I still think Detroit wins. Like, if everything's everything, Detroit probably wins by 2 scores. But I think this does have upset potential based on what we've seen Jalen Daniels do. He has been like one of the best clutch quarterbacks all year, so you just can't count him out.
I would love it. I would love to see the Commanders come in here, take over and win this game. It would be very good for the state of the league, 1. And I think 2, I mean, I don't think, again, the Lions for sure are a fan base that has been deprived, but the Commanders too have also been a fan base that has been deprived of winners and good talent for a long time. So getting Jaden Daniels to come in here, beat the number 1 seed would be huge. Yeah, I don't think it should necessarily be close. I think that controlling time of possession is Detroit's strong suit. So I think that they will use Monty. They'll use Jared Goff. They'll use their O-line. They'll use Gibbs, and they will just pound the rock, make your little short passes. They'll just dominate time possession. I think they win by, I'll say 17 or more. I think they just get done. Good warm-up game. I really think that they're just the better team. I would love to see Jaden Daniels come in here and kill. I think that'd be really funny. I think that it could, whatever. wake the Lions up at the same time, because I think right now this is like a tune-up game they're thinking for them. So
Thunder up about 15 on the Cavs.
I thought it wasn't a game. My fault.
We'll see y'all in the second half.
I thought it was.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm picking the Lions in this game. They got a week of rest for their defense to get more healthy. I don't think the Commanders are going to be able to stop the run good enough to stop this team. I think Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery are going to have a day. And then after they try to stop the run, I think, obviously not Sam Darnold, but Jared Goff, same person. But obviously Jared Goff is going to have his way in the play action game. The Commanders are very bad against the pass as well. The defense is not really great at all. They're kind of like opportunistic and scrappy and play better than the ranking sometimes. But I think the Lions are going to have a field day in this game. This one might be a blowout, to be honest. Or it's either going to be a blowout or a shootout, one of the two. But I got the Lions winning either way because I feel like I trust their defense more to get stops on Jaden Daniels. They're going to send a lot of pressure at his way while him being a rookie. And that's how I see the game's going to go. Command the Lions by a lot, in my opinion. Next game up, Rams at Eagles. This one can get – oh, my gosh, Shay. This one can get very, very interesting. What's your guys' picks on this game?
The Rams is my upset pick. They're going into the game with a better quarterback and a better coach by like a margin on both of those. The Eagles clearly do have the better team. Rams not really good at stopping the run. Last time they played, Saquon did have basically 200 or 300 yards from scrimmage, something like that. Field day for him. I think they're gonna still have to like throw the ball, and if they have to throw the ball a couple times, I think they're gonna capitalize. Because Jalen Hurts, him throwing the ball is not really a thing. AJ Brown has like a little mishap on the sideline. I think, tempers could flare and they could just blow up in this round. I don't count on it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles win, obviously, but I'm going with the Rams here. I think they're like on a mission. This team is, really good. Last 2 years, they started off slow, obviously due to health and things like that, but they're going in basically healthy. D-line is playing well. Cornerbacks, like the DBs, something to be desired, but as long as they can get pressure up front, they should be fine. The Packers before with a bad pass rush, a bad D-line, they were able to do some things against the Eagles offensive line. Rams are better. We can see how that goes.
I agree with you. I think it's gonna be close. I'll still take Philly. I think they just have more playmakers. And I guess the Matt Stafford, Jalen Hurts thing that is it's the biggest differentiator, I guess, besides coaching. But Matt Stafford is just a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, no matter what way you cut it. I think it's a big thing on Philly's defense. If you can obviously shut down Matt Stafford, he's had a couple of bad games this year. If you can hopefully just limit the pass game, try and get him to run the football, beat up on the O-line that's been injured all year. They got a unit they like right now, but I'll stick with Philly because it's in Philly. Defense looked good last week, and I think that at the end of the day,
it's gonna snow.
And that's why I also kind of trust Saquon in the run game. So again, I don't hate the upset pick at all. I honestly think that this game, odds-wise, has the best chance of an upset, I guess, besides the Bills-Ravens. I don't think either way it goes, it's an upset. I think this game has serious chances. I think both games on Sunday, I think they're done. I think both these games, the Saturday games, I think they're whatever. The home teams win. These two games, though, definitely, I think either team could walk out of here a winner. The Eagles can't take this game lightly for sure. So,
I do think the Rams are a dangerous team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better coach, clearly, as well. They are a very experienced team in the playoffs. They're like 5-1 in their last 6 playoff games. But this is a bad matchup for them. And the fact that they cannot stop the run, they let up about 130 yards per game last time I checked. In the last matchup in this game, the Eagles blew them out and they ran for 300 yards. Saquon had an amazing day. I think that will continue. If they do their all to stop Saquon, which they can try, but I don't think they will. I think Jalen Hurts will be able to capitalize and hit Devonta Smith and hit AJ Brown. All the Eagles really need to do is have Jalen Hurts play a good game, and compete on defense, which I think they can do. They're one of the best defenses in the league. I think this is a clear pick, but it does have upside potential. Like the Eagles should definitely win this game. They have the better roster. They have more talent, but the Rams do have the coaching and quarterback upside. And I think both of those things are by a lot. Like especially as far as head coach, Sean McVay is the offensive coordinator too. So I mean, but yeah, they have a head coaching gap by a lot. They have a quarterback gap by a lot. So that goes on their sides, and sometimes that's enough to win you games. But just based on how the previous game went in the regular season and the strengths and weaknesses of the team, I think they favor the Eagles more. So I'll go with the Eagles. Last game is Ravens versus Bills, and this is one of the hardest games to pick. Q doesn't think so. I think so. This is at Bills, right? This is Buffalo. Ravens at Bills. I think this is one of the harder games to pick in this divisional round. I'm gonna start with Q. What do you think is gonna happen in this game? Last game, the Ravens won 31-10. What are you thinking?
One, I don't take much stock into the week 4. One, that was 3 months ago. 2, the Bills went in there. I don't think Matt Milano, Terrell Bernard, and Teron Johnson make that much difference of the game, but they were missing 3 of their best defensive players, especially like in the middle of the defense where it's needed to stop this team based on what they do. We like to throw deep middle. Obviously like to run the ball. Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, that's their area. Same thing with Teron Johnson in the slot. He has a lot in the run game. That game got out of hand early. Literally the first play of the game, Derrick Henry busted an 80-yard touchdown run. Since then, they were behind the 8 ball the whole time. I don't think it'll be the same. I think it'll probably be a back and forth game. This game is going to be like 10 degrees. We haven't played a game, or Lamar hasn't played a game under 25 degrees, so I don't know how he's going to look there. It does favor a run game matchup, so it does favor Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. We haven't seen him before. Derrick Henry, his playoff games are like up and down. He either has amazing games or he has duds. We don't know. He just had an amazing game, so if you follow the trend, he might have a dud. I don't expect it to happen. Just not Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, so it was a different threat. He's always going to see some type of open lane. I think Josh Allen, being the playoff performer that he is, he's going to keep it close. This is at home. I think it's kind of disrespectful for them to be underdogs at home. They were the better team in totality all season. And this is at home in a playoff game. Usually the home team gets a 3-point buff. Vegas basically telling you on a neutral field, Ravens are like a 5-point favorite. I think they're holding too much stock into that week 4 game. I think we still win. We probably squeak out a win, something like 27-24. Probably a good game up and down. But yeah, I don't think it should be hard. I think it's just a style of fights, and I think we have the best matchup to beat the Bills.
Quick question for both you guys. Who has more pressure in this game? Who's got more pressure on them, Josh or Lamar?
Lamar. We're talking about a 2-time MVP who's as a playoff choker.
100%.
He might be most likely he's going to be a 3-time MVP. Like, you can't lose these games. Like, you can't it's just you can't Peyton Manning got the same talks. Right? Like, players got these same talks. Aaron Rodgers got the talks for getting MVP and not getting to the Super Bowl. So he's in that category trying to get there. He has to get the same type of criticism.
No, it's definitely Lamar. Josh Allen has historically been a better playoff performer than him. He's been to the AFC Championship game. It was a very long time ago now. But like you said, Lamar has 3 MVPs. He hasn't played well in the playoffs. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it's more pressure on Lamar to at least play well, not even most about winning the game, but at least playing well in the divisional round of the playoffs.
It's 2 things he could do. He could either play well. If he could play well and lose, and he's not going to get killed, or he could not play well, but as long as they win, he can escape some of the criticism because he has another round to prove himself. But he can't lose and not play well. Like, that's just off the table.
Yeah.
Like, if you lose to Josh Allen in the shootout in his building, I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah, my thing is I'm going to pick the Ravens in this game as well. I think they're the best rushing team in the entire NFL. They're the best rushing team in the entire NFL, and the Bills are not the greatest at stopping the run. They're like almost bottom 10 at stopping the run this season. The defense has looked very skeptical to end the year as well. Hasn't looked the best. I think they had the ability to dominate both sides of the trenches in this game. That's what they did in week 4. They really got after Josh Allen and pressured him. Their defense line is pretty good. I think Josh Allen and the Bills play better. But with Lamar having more pressure on him to win his game, I think he'll step into the mantle of this game and get it done. I think Derrick Henry has a great day. I think Lamar Jackson has a great day. They get this done, and the Ravens defense has also been playing a lot better to end the year as well. So I think the Ravens are pretty much playing better at the right time, and also present things that the Bills aren't, great at stopping, in my opinion. Max, you didn't give a pick.
You're not gonna like it because it really is like, I think either the biggest argument you have is you pick the Ravens and you say the rushing attack. You pick the Bills and you say Josh Allen's been playing out of his mind. They're more used to cold weather games. They're at home, yada yada yada. And like,
More used to cold weather games.
Huh?
Baltimore's still
not like Buffalo. Not like Buffalo. He literally
said what?
He literally never played. We literally never played in weather like that before.
Well, Q just said Baltimore and Green Bay. I feel like are kind of in the league of their own. Chicago's up there, but Baltimore and Green Bay are like different.
Buffalo,
like it's very, very different. Yeah, Buffalo. Sorry, not Baltimore. And like I honestly, I would like the Bills to win because I want to see the Bills make it. I would like to see the Bills in the Super Bowl. The same as with the Ravens, though, because again, I like the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong, I like Pat Mahomes, but getting some new parity in there would be great. And I think the Bills match up better with the Chiefs.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think the Bills match up better with the Chiefs. To be honest, I think this might be, barring maybe, I don't know what the Super Bowl match is going to be. This might be the best game we see all year. I think you can go to the AFC NFC Championship. You can even go to the Super Bowl. This might be the most competitive, well-matched game of the entire year. And I agree with Q. I think it'll come down to a field goal. It'll come down to towards the end. And I just think Josh Allen will have something. I think that time of possession will be in the Ravens' favor. They'll dominate on the run. I think just Josh Allen's got it. He's going to have one of these games where you look back at it and kind of put it towards his accolades. Remember when he won that one game, that whatever, game to put in the AFC Championship against Baltimore. I think both these teams are more than capable of beating Kansas City. I think both these teams are very good. I think the defensive gap, though, I don't know if it's going to be, I guess, as big as how good both offenses are. I think both offenses will score at will. I really just think it'll be kind of how many errors they make on the offensive side of the ball. So again, I'll go with Buffalo. I'm not confident in the slightest because, again, I do think if Buffalo gets themselves caught behind early on in the game, it's up to Lamar and Derrick Henry just to kind of run the clock. And so I agree that I think this is huge for Lamar Jackson. I think his control of the game, his decision-making is so important. Not giving Josh Allen any extra opportunities. And again, he does not throw picks. I'm not going to say he does, but just making the right reads, making complete passes, getting like reading the field well. Like this might be the most important game of his career until next week. But
the issue I have with that one statement is that it's like he's still making him playing safer with the ball. Like he's still making the same type of throws. Like the type of throws and the decisions are still the same. It's just that turnovers is a volatile stat. You could go up, you could go down. He's just getting lucky this year. Like
I guess for me, it's not turnovers. I'm saying don't turn those second into third downs. Don't turn those third into fourth downs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's more what I'm saying with like keep the ball.
He's like the second best third down quarterback in the league.
And that's what I'm trying to say. This game more important than ever. Like you need to like keep your team on the field, use up as much clock time as possible. Like those completions that need to be made, like you can't worry about those. You need to be automatic. So you got to take the ball out of Josh Allen's hands as much as possible. Because, again, Buffalo likes to run the football as well. Buffalo likes to control the pace. Buffalo likes to run it with Josh Allen, James Cook, Ty Johnson, whoever they have. They like to control tempo as well. So I think, obviously, I know.
All right, that's it for our divisional prediction. Huh?
That cut out again. That go late.
No, you good.
Yeah.
That was it for our division round predictions and episode 130. Thank you guys for tuning in. You made this far. Make sure you guys follow the channel, like our video, share the video, and follow us on our social media platforms, especially because TikTok is getting banned. We need those to get up while that's getting banned. We are out. Love y'all.